What's the purpose behind the marketing plan? You excite, you educate, experience, and engage. Let's do this, right? Let's do this and let's have fun with it too. To my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you being here. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing Within the Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today, for episode 228, I want to give a recap of the Let's Connect conference, but before I do, I want to say thank you to my worldwide listeners that have been rocking with me from day one, or you maybe from day two or last night. Thank you for tuning into the show. Once again, I appreciate you. I wouldn't be able to do this, nor would I want to, if I didn't have your support. So thank you for the reviews, the comments, the ratings, and the sharing. It means a lot to me, even when you come up to me and say, I listen to your podcast. I appreciate that. For my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show. I hope you get something out of it. If I don't, obviously, you don't have to do anything. If you want to let me know directly, and this is to all my listeners, hit me up at info@nwebsterllc.com. And if you do enjoy the show, please hit subscribe, rate, review, and share the show. All right, so let's get the show on the road. Here we go. So every October, for those I don't know, and to remind those I do, I hold a conference. I started in 2020, and this was a little background on that. Is as a marketing agency slash consultant, I do get asked to work on behalf of the BIPOC community, as in find out more about the numbers. How can we engage with them? Here's where big agencies or companies have like a department within the marketing to say this is an urban area or this is an underrepresented area. They don't try to give it a bad name, but this is basically the way consumers spend are different when you talk about ethnicities and place of origin. So you take, for example, like New York, you can go to different parts of the town, and one's going to be Italians, one's going to be Jews, one's going to be blacks, one's going to be upper or white collar class folks. So it just depends on who you're reaching out to and who you're selling to. And so depending on the type of the work that I gotten, I realized, and other folks have told me, like Nathan, here in this area in Vancouver, Washington, suburb of Portland, Oregon, just a little ink spot in the Pacific Northwest, greater Pacific Northwest, I should say, here in the United States of America. There is not a way to, as we are not segregated, to find all the brown and black folks or anyone of melanin of the global majority in a place where we can all coagulate and say, okay, here we are. This is how you can communicate to us. This is what we do. This is how we do it. A very typical way of what we think of, what non-marketers, sometimes businesses think, like, how do I get myself out there? When you STP, segment, target, and position yourself in the place of your buyers, of your customer, right? So when you look at some of the ways that companies put themselves out there, they can afford it. They just blast different ways in their promotional schemes. Well, and I don't want to say schemes. It's just part of their customer journey map of how they go about in their tactics of how they're going to reach their customer or nurture their customer and reward their customer on a regular basis. Now, how I do that is going to be completely different, which is why I'm talking about the recap of the conference I did on October 4th and 5th, or 3rd and 4th, which is the first Thursday and Friday every month. And I want to get to you, what I want to get to you is just telling you the bad and the good, and not go too far deep into the rabbit hole, because for me, this is a opportunity for me to improve my business on different fronts. And people ask me why do I do it. I do it for several reasons. It is business oriented, and I enjoy doing it. And yes, I am a capitalist. I do want to make money, but I also understand it's not always about making money. It is an investment. So And in this podcast, in this episode, I do want to encourage you to follow your heart, do what's right, to uh, do what you need to do to get your business to the next level. And for me, for my next level of my business, I realized one of the biggest reasons why I did this conference was I knew of a lot of great business owners, leaders, decision makers that were not in the same room with each other. And then when I asked them if they knew about each other, they were like, no, I didn't. I'm like, what? How do you not know these people? And I had to stop saying what, and I had to stop asking for other entities to do it. And I just decided to do it. I can't remember who says it, but the quote is, "You either the problem or you're the solution." And I wanted to be the solution. So 4 years in a row doing this in October. And here are the bad things that I learned, and I got them written down. So if you're watching me, I'm just looking at the other side of my screen here. Number one, I had low attendance. Okay, here's the three bads. Here's the cons. Okay, I had low attendance. Number two, I had the wrong time of the month, and number three, I failed to promote. Let me quickly break these things down, and I could break this down for you for you in a much longer episode, but you probably don't want it unless you do an event, or if you're going to help me run the next event, which is cool. However, I will keep this super short. So the low attendance is easy. That comes to number three. I failed to promote it. Okay. Now some of these cons are going to end up in the pros. Okay. So I don't want you to be like disappointed and dismayed. Because it was a phenomenal conference. It was Build Your Brand was a theme. Last year was connecting people, not dots. So in the first 3 years, my goal was to build a trust, build a staple community event that folks can go to, that can rely on this. Not just BIPOC, Black and Brown communities, just if you're a good person, if you have a good business, and you want to meet new people and create the right leads you want, hey, Let's Connect Conference is the conference for you, okay? So the low attendance was not about not having people there. We had people there. Man, they turned up, showed out. But it was low attendance just because leading to number two, I'm finding out that it was just the wrong time of the month. For the fourth time in a row, I'm realizing I'm done fighting it. There's a national bankers conference that bankers are gone, and it's extremely hard for them to get to. And I've been told this, right? But I was like, I'm just going to keep going against the grain, but I need to not. And second part to that, when I goes to number three, when I failed to promote, I failed to promote it in a way that makes sense to where if you say 2 months out, 60 days, that puts us in August. People are not really that in tune with all the events, their emails. Shoot, I got my kids. I know I'm not. You tell me October, man, I'm not paying attention to that. So being that we have this in the first of the month, that's great and all, but October is conference month. Which I'm going to do a recap on for the next podcast. But man, I've been going to so many events this month that my budget is like maxed out for these conferences for the month of October. And so and I need to schedule it in a way that I can still promote it in September and October. And I do want to do some collaboration. This year, the last 3 years, I didn't. This year, I was like, okay, let's figure out how to do it. Still solo, but the more and more I am saying, like, look, good people need to meet up and we need to meet. Part of that is collaboration. There's other entities doing great things, and why not like join forces? And that will be a change for next year. Number three is a big deal because I failed to promote. Look, this is one of my best lead generators, even for me, but it's a great way for my colleagues, my clients, to gain the faith and trust of me all over again, as I have to earn their business all the time. I want to be able to promote this to them in a way that it makes a sense, to where it's not just a return on their money, but their time, and also me and my expertise. So I failed to promote it correctly just because I had my sights on other things. And that could be another podcast. I won't say the details about that. All right. So let me get into number three, or excuse me, the three good of the, like, man, see, I'm a little, I get a little, Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. When I talk about the conference, when I think about the conference, it is very healing. Okay. So I'm starting off with that. It's very healing, but it's not one of the threes. It's just the baseline. It is the foundation when I talk about the three pros of the conference. First and foremost, we had fun. It is very hard to go to a conference and have fun. From all the conferences I went to, that I had to go to, mandated. Even the Marine Corps, they would say you're not mandated to go, as in it's not mandatory, but you will be there. So it's fun. It's fun. The only feedback I got from some folks is just the music's too loud. Okay, because look, I like to have fun. Number two, it's kind of like both. It's like a 1A, but it goes into the two. It was a great business topic. So last year we did connecting people, not dots. This year we did build your brand. Now, this was my first year we got technical into, say, an industry, a service proposition, where we are talking about specifically a niche. Before, it was about establishing trust, just coming back to, I want folks to feel comfortable. I want them to come as they are. Going back to number one, we had fun. It's very hard to go to a business event and have fun, come as you are, and get great business leads. Like have only been able to do that a few times, but I walk away with great connections as in good people, not necessarily good connections, good contacts that lead to contracts. So that is one of the biggest parts of the conference that I'm really happy about, and I'm grateful that people had fun to where they got a lot out of the business topic of building your brand, the panel, the keynotes, the networking as well. And of course, we have vendors and we supported them also. So number three, and this is probably the biggest pro, good, kudos, compliments, whatever you want to call it, right? Like I said, there's a lot of things going on. This year, I think of all things, which I've heard it's a presidential election year. I've heard it was people are going out of town because of conferences, because now conferences are in full swing. Matter of fact, the Hilton staff, they were like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Was the beginning of when they opened up for COVID from 2020, and they were like, the mic check 1 2 1 2. That's the first time they heard that in a year, and it started with my conference. So they look forward to this. I have one person in particular that doesn't schedule their vacation until they know my dates, which is pretty cool. But we have a great time. Like I said, everyone has fun. The staff love us there. It's just great people doing great work. And you should be a part of it, right? But I'm just not trying to sell you or pitch you. I'm just letting you know that's the real deal, Holyfield, of when you come to the Let's Connect conference, you're going to have a blast if you show up as you are, and you're just going to have a good time. So number three is everybody that said that they were going to come, they came. Now, they may have came for Thursday or they came for Friday. Not everyone came for both days because it's hard, and I will make those adjustments come next year. But what's really interesting about this whole thing is that I am seeing how people do want to be a part of it. They're trying to squeeze it in. But with the pandemic and after post-pandemic business, it's just different, and it's hard. People are busy, and to make time for these things, you have to be extraordinary special. Networking is not the same as it was pre-pandemic. And I'm a networking person. I don't mind. Actually, I'm an ambivert. I love being extroverted and introverted. So when it comes to going to these events, and if I tell someone I want to go there, I have to think, okay, how far out is it? How long is it going to take me to get there with the traffic? I got to think about my kiddos. I got to think about my client work and that workload. What does that look like? And so when it comes to everything, for people to show up and pay at the door prices, that means the world to me. And like I said earlier, this is part of my top of the funnel down to the bottom of the funnel. I do get or earn contracts from this. But I also gained, for me, a greater sense of purpose, coming back to the healing piece. Like the recap for me, which is why I share, I want to document it, is because some of you do events and you're part of events. And events are part of a value proposition that is absolutely needed. It works. It can be very profitable. I can tell you the event itself is profitable, but the business to run this event, the Let's Connect conference, is not profitable. So it's an investment that I'm making, and I'm still excited to see the potential that we have in it. It's just not always rainbows and unicorns and Shirley Temples and sweet potato pies. So I want to say, for those that came, for those that can hear me, that said, man, your conference was great, I want to say thank you. Again, to those that came, had a great time, you contributed to the awesomeness of it. Thank you from the depths of my heart. I'm still not done. I still need to meet with my Hilton contact for the next year, so we'll get that to you here soon. But make sure you go check out the conference, the sites at the show notes. And for those that want to come next year, hey, be on the lookout. I'll start talking about it here soon. We're still getting back the pictures, so I'm not able to show off a lot, but I did put some on my LinkedIn stuff. And if you haven't gone to my LinkedIn, it's in the show notes. Make sure you go to it. And for those that want to come and be a part of it, like our vendors always do a great job. They get their money's worth and then some. Two of my vendors said, "You got me. You stuck with me for life." I love this conference. And so, that's my whole purpose of why I love doing the conference. Let's Connect is literal. It's let's connect, but not connect as in I'm putting up this facade. Be you. I want you to come authentically as you are, have fun, and have a great time. So that was the Let's Connect conference for 2024. Build your brand next year. Man, for year 5, oh yeah, we about to bring it. So without you all supporting me through this, I wouldn't do it. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for encouraging me to do this, because I couldn't do this without you. So I appreciate your support. And for those that are looking for the type of work of what I do marketing wise, because some folks say, Nathan, I know you know so much and you do this as a professor, as a podcaster, you're a business owner. I see you doing stuff in nonprofits. What do you do? Simple. I help create, and I want to help clients, but it's not even clients anymore, because I do workshops and speaking. I hope you understand how to digitize and monetize your channels by creating a customer journey map that's right for you. And this is creating the MarTech stack, the marketing technology stack of all the applications you need operationally to be in the black. At the end of the day, the bottom line is, are you investing in your business on the marketing side to get the right people in your funnel to pay your bills? That's what I do. I create a strategy to where you digitize and monetize that, to where you work smarter as you're working harder. Because at the end of the day, if you're not in the black, that's a tough business to run, because that business is running you. So if I can help you in any way, hit me up at info@nwebsterllc.com. I'm here for you. I'm excited to help you if you need your help. But if you already have a marketer, make sure you ask them, hey, how can I digitize and monetize my channels? How can I work smarter as I work harder by getting the right ROAS, the return on ad spend? Sometimes that's what a lot of it amounts to, getting an ad and figuring out how to do that. But it's just not as simple as starting up a Google Analytics or a Google Ads account. There's so much minutia in that. If you want to do it, God bless you. You can do it. But I want to let you know there's people out there that are highly skilled, which is going to be the next podcast. I'll tell you about another recap from another conference. It's pretty dope, and I can't wait to share that with you. It's pretty dope. So with that, y'all, you heard it first here at, what is it? Hey, Let's Talk Marketing with Enda podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I want to say thank you for tuning in today. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed. I'm out. Hey, if you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others that may be interested in this topic. And also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or social media networks. See you next week for the next episode.